Dwelling on the inevitable does not change the inevitable. Dwelling on the inevitable does not change the inevitable. So what does that mean? We all know that there's going to be an expiration date at some point. We don't know when that's coming, but we all know that that's going to happen at some point in the future. But dwelling on the inevitable does not change the fact that that thing is still inevitable. It's unavoidable. It's going to happen. So with it being inevitable. What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, fellas? This is Mike D, Mr. Double Down on You, and welcome to Black Fathers Now. Hope everybody's doing their thing, making it happen, and, impacting the world to the magnitude that you're capable of, but then to the magnitude in which you're supposed to, right? Because somebody else's impact is not your impact. There are some folks that are literally supposed to impact millions, maybe even billions of lives. Whereas there are some of us that are supposed to just impact a few. But whether you're supposed to impact a few or to impact the masses, don't worry about the number. Just be about the business of doing what you're supposed to do. Huh? Dig that. Today's message is going to be quick, man. And, not too long ago, we all were devastated by the loss of Kobe Bryant, right? I mean, the brother was impactful, especially in the world of sports. But because of his platform with sports, we then got to look and understand his life as a father and as an entrepreneur and as a philanthropist. And stories are just popping out and, showing the vast, breadth of what he brought to the world outside of the world of basketball. I kind of liken it to, another unfortunate scenario, but, after Nipsey Hussle passed, there were a lot of folks who were familiar with his music, but did not know the backstory to a lot of the things that he had going on. And, the unfortunate, untimely, passing of Nipsey opened up the world to all of these things that he was doing and how he's changed his life and some of the things that he was into. And for a lot of folks, that served as inspiration to, flip the script and make something happen. And I can say the same thing about Kobe, right? I mean, he's dealt with some challenges like all of us, right? And, but over the last 20 years or so, he's done a good job of making an impact, turning negatives into positives and learning from mistakes and, doing his thing. And obviously nobody's perfect, but the brother was actually out there impacting the world in his own way. And, the untimely passing of him, really opened up the window for some of us who maybe, were just casual fans to really do a deep dive and see some of the things that he was doing because, there's been an outpouring of examples of all the things that he was involved in. So again, take these things as examples, right? Take these as examples for you to not wait to do what you can do today, tomorrow. Don't wait on something that you can do today, tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. And no matter what your backstory, there's an opportunity for change, and there's an opportunity for you to right wrongs if you've done wrong. And there's an opportunity for you to still make an impact in the way that you are designed to do. Just feel it. That thing that's inside of you that is calling you to do something, do it. Don't wait, because tomorrow's not promised. Both of these brothers were, according to most folks, are gone way before their time. But, according to my belief structure, God has a time for all of us. And, unfortunately, this was the time for these two brothers. But in the short time that they had on this earth, they made a magnificent impact. Nipsey and Kobe made a magnificent impact. And, thinking about the whole concept of timing, at the end of the day, death is inevitable. Death is inevitable. Some of us are going to be blessed to live, 90, 100 years, 100 years plus, and there will be some of us that won't make it that long. Death is inevitable. That's something that we're all going to face. But dwelling on the inevitable does not change the inevitable. Dwelling on the inevitable does not change the inevitable. So what does that mean? We all know that there's going to be an expiration date at some point. We don't know when that's coming, but we all know that that's going to happen at some point in the future. But dwelling on the inevitable does not change the fact that that thing is still inevitable. It's unavoidable. It's going to happen. So with it being inevitable, with us knowing that it's going to happen, what do we do in the meantime? What do we do in the meantime? And in my opinion, that is where we can really look at, the untimely death of, celebrities or folks that, we feel like, really impacted our lives in some way, shape, or form. That's how we can take their untimely death and utilize it as motivation to get on the good foot and do the right thing, to change things that we need to change, to impact things that we need to impact. But the other side of it is, let's not dwell on the inevitable, because it's going to happen. We just don't know when. So in the meantime, what are you going to do? In the meantime, what are you going to do? Again, the two brothers, Nipsey Hussle and Kobe Bryant, we're not perfect individuals. None of us are. Nobody walking the face of this earth is perfect. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. I mean, that's real, right? Nobody's perfect. If anybody tells you they're perfect, or if anybody claims that somebody they know or somebody they heard about that's walking around right now is perfect, you might want to check that, because that's impossible. Nobody is perfect. We've all sinned, right? But if we're here still, we have a fighting chance to make those sins right. We have a fighting chance to right our wrongs. We have the opportunity to impact. We have the opportunity to use the gift, the talent, the skill, the experiences, whatever you have inside of you. If you have resources, whatever that may be, you have the opportunity. You have the fighting shot, the fighting chance to utilize those to impact others, to impact the world, to leave a legacy, something that can be built upon in your absence, whether it be the future or when you leave an individual place, in your current environment. It's the opportunity for something to be built upon with you not being there, right? But at the end of the day, fellas, we got to do it. We can't wait, but we also can't spend time dwelling on the inevitable. We got to get to work. So I hope you can internalize that, and I hope this makes you think about life and think about what you need to do in a different light, so to speak, because we can't wait, man. Tomorrow's not promised. I believe Nipsey was 34, 35, and Kobe was 41. Come on, man. Them brothers were young in the midst of making things happen. But I can say that the blessing of it all was the fact that they were in the midst of making things happen, meaning they were about that action. So when their time expired, they were about that action, so they were doing things. Can some of us say the same? Can you say the same? Not just you. When I look in the mirror, can I say the same? That's the question we all have to ask. Don't dwell on the inevitable. That's going to happen. What are you doing right now? All right. Well, hey, fellas, as always, make sure to visit blackfathersnow.com. Subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe. Please leave ratings. Please share the podcast with other brothers. We want every brother in America. We'll start with America. Every brother in America to have heard of and have listened to an episode of Black Fathers Now. That's a mission of mine. I want every brother in America to have listened to an episode of Black Fathers Now. Can you help me make that happen? All right. Well, hey, as always, y'all, keep up the good work. I love y'all. Be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace.
Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always, always, always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.